Breaking news: political earthquake. The dream of America as the ultimate global destination is collapsing before our eyes. In mid-2025, while the world is chasing new horizons, the United States is witnessing an unprecedented exodus of travelers, billions of dollars draining from its economy, and a staggering political firestorm that has global markets trembling. This is not just another slow tourism season. This is a seismic shift in international perception and power fueled by controversial political decisions, shocking tariffs, and global trade chaos that could redefine America's role on the world stage. Walk through Miami International Airport today, and you'll hear something chilling. Silence. Those buzzing check-in counters once alive with travelers from Sao Paulo, Shanghai, London empty. A monumental 28 billion has already vanished from U.S. tourism in just the first 6 months of this year. International arrivals plunged 19% in June alone, the steepest drop since the pandemic era. And this is not just an economic hiccup. It's a warning shot fired at the very heart of American global influence. 7 major airlines, Emirates, Air China, Turkish Airlines, and others, have slashed U.S. routes over the last 18 months. Every canceled flight wipes out $150,000 in local spending taxis, idle cafes, empty hotel staff sent home. In Orlando, foreign attendance at world-famous theme parks crashed 22% this spring, forcing Disney and Universal to slash temporary jobs, leaving thousands scrambling. The blame: a toxic cocktail of skyrocketing tariffs, visa processing delays stretching up to 6 months, and a growing perception that America is closing its doors to the world. But this crisis cuts even deeper than policy blunders. Across the Pacific, Japan's All Nippon Airways axed its Tokyo-Los Angeles route this March, redirecting its luxury Boeing 787 fleet toward booming Asian markets. The 2025 Skyscanner Travel Report reveals a staggering 53% surge in searches from Tokyo to Southeast Asia, while U.S. interest flatlines. The strong dollar makes it worse. A family of 4 from Osaka now pays 30% more for a California vacation than they did just weeks ago. Bali and Singapore: cheaper, friendlier, easier to reach. Every redirected plane means $200 less spent on U.S. soil per traveler. Multiplied by thousands, the bleeding accelerates. Cross the Atlantic, and the exodus continues. British Airways slashed its London-Miami service by 40% in April, citing U.S. tariffs that inflated maintenance costs by 18%. Lufthansa followed, cutting routes to Chicago and Dallas, while reinforcing flights to Frankfurt and Dubai. A June 2025 International Air Transport Association report confirmed a 15% decline in transatlantic bookings to the U.S., while hubs like Doha and Abu Dhabi posted record gains. Why convenience? European travelers face 190-day average visa delays for U.S. entry compared to just 30 days for UAE destinations. Viral videos of chaotic borderlines and 2-hour JFK waits flood social media. Lisbon and Istanbul are stealing America's once unshakable tourism crown. And it's not just the coasts bleeding. Rural airports from Fargo to Mobile are gasping for survival. This May, Congress slashed $45 million from the Essential Air Service program, gutting subsidies that kept small-town routes alive. Communities like Alpena, Michigan, and Scottsbluff, Nebraska, are losing their last lifelines. One canceled route erases 50 jobs, pilots, ground crews, even the cafe at the tiny terminal. Local economies stumble. Farmers struggle to ship crops. Patients miss specialist appointments. High school athletes lose college recruitment chances. The dominoes fall silently, but they fall hard. But this is only the beginning of a political storm shaking Washington and Wall Street alike. The global tourism collapse is merely the tip of a massive iceberg. Beneath the surface lies a tangled web of trade wars, tariff battles, and political decisions that have sent shockwaves through the world economy. Since January 2025, the U.S. government has escalated commercial hostilities with a series of aggressive tariffs: 25% on Chinese electronics, 15% on European steel. Retaliation was swift and brutal. China struck back with punishing duties on American agricultural exports, choking soybean and corn shipments overnight. Europe counterpunched with tariffs on U.S. whiskey and tech products, making everything from Kentucky bourbon to iPhones painfully expensive overseas. This isn't just about trade numbers, it's about perception, power, and politics. A July 2025 Pew Research survey revealed a staggering 68% of global respondents view the United States as less welcoming than it was 5 years ago. Violent headlines of mass shootings, polarizing political battles, and increasingly invasive border policies paint a picture of a nation closing itself off. For a German family weighing where to spend their summer, it's not just visa delays or costs, it's a gut feeling that America has lost its shine. The fallout reaches deep into U.S. industries. In June 2025, a semiconductor shortage worsened by tariff barriers forced Ford to shut down 2 major Michigan plants, laying off 4,000 workers. The ripple effect slammed local suppliers, family restaurants, and even school budgets reliant on tax revenue. At the same time, energy costs have surged. Oil prices hit $95 a barrel in July, driven by Middle East tensions and U.S. sanctions on Iranian crude. Airlines already cornered by falling demand passed these costs to passengers. A round-trip ticket from London to New York now averages $1,400, 20% more than last year. Many simply refuse to pay. Analysts warn that by 2026, Asia's travel market will overtake North America for the first time. Meanwhile, America's airports crumble under 1970s infrastructure while global competitors sprint ahead. Seoul's Incheon Airport is building a $4 billion state-of-the-art terminal for 2026. Dubai moves 90 million passengers annually with cutting-edge technology. In contrast, U.S. hubs struggle with outdated systems, endless delays, and border chaos. The gap is widening every day. The economic consequences are brutal. The tourism drought threatens 1.2 million American jobs, from hotel waiters to tour guides. The National Travel and Tourism Office projects a devastating $35 billion loss by the end of 2025 if trends continue. Without rapid reform, cumulative losses could hit 80 billion and 2 million jobs by 2027. Yet the deeper loss isn't measured in dollars. It's the erosion of soft power, the fading symbol of America as a beacon of openness and opportunity. While China pours billions into its Belt and Road Initiative, winning loyalty in Africa and Asia, with shiny railways and infrastructure, the U.S. argues over a $50 billion infrastructure bill stuck in Congress. Can a nation lead the world when its own runways are darkening? And now Washington finds itself cornered in a political cage, fight with no easy way out. Behind closed doors, furious debates rage as lawmakers clash over whether to double down on protectionist policies or tear them down to revive America's crumbling tourism and trade dominance. Tax hawks argue that lowering tariffs would invite a flood of foreign goods, gutting U.S. manufacturing and losing voter trust in swing states. Globalists warn that keeping tariffs sky high will choke off investment, drive away airlines, and push America into long-term isolation. The stakes are monumental, and the clock is ticking fast. Some voices in Congress demand emergency reforms. They call for slashing visa wait times to just 30 days, mirroring the United Arab Emirates, a move that analysts say could instantly attract 1 million additional visitors a year and inject $2 billion into the economy. Others propose an airport revolution, introducing Singapore-style biometric systems that would slash customs waits to 15 minutes, restoring confidence in American efficiency. A bold $100 million subsidy package could save 200 rural communities from losing their last air routes. But every proposal hits a political landmine. Cutting tariffs risks sparking new trade wars. Expanding immigration staff means raising taxes. Shifting federal funds to rural air routes enrages urban voters. Meanwhile, international competitors aren't waiting. India's incredible India 2.0 tourism campaign launched in 2025, luring 30% more European visitors with instant e-visas. Turkey expanded simplified entry for 50 nations, triggering a 22% surge in arrivals. The message is clear: while the world opens its arms, America's message is increasingly stay out. Social media is flooded with viral clips of frustrated travelers stuck in chaotic JFK lines, while influencers praise seamless arrivals in Istanbul, Singapore, and Dubai. The contrast is brutal. The shockwaves reach America's natural treasures as well. Iconic parks like Yellowstone and the Grand Canyon have seen foreign tourist numbers plunge 20%, slashing conservation funds. Rangers are left scrambling to maintain trails, wildlife programs are cut, and local communities depending on tourism spiral into decline. Every empty hotel room, every cancelled tour guide shift chips away at a tradition of welcoming the world to America's front door. Political strategists warn that without immediate action, the United States faces a geopolitical tipping point. A nation that once projected power through its ability to attract people, ideas, and business could become an isolated fortress, watching rivals fill the global vacuum. Analysts project that without bold reforms by 2027, America's cumulative tourism losses could exceed $80 billion, costing over 2 million jobs. Yet with swift, courageous policy shifts, it could recapture its place as a world leader, not just in defense or finance, but in culture, hospitality, and influence. The question is no longer whether the crisis is real, it's how far America is willing to go to fix it. Will Washington have the courage to dismantle tariffs, modernize airports, and rebuild trust? Or will it cling to political battles while the skies empty and the nation's global star fades into darkness? As the clock ticks toward 2026, one undeniable truth emerges. The battle for America's future is not only waged in Congress or on Wall Street, it's playing out in silent airports, shuttered hotel lobbies, and the empty seats of once-packed transatlantic flights. Every delayed visa, every tariff hike, every missed opportunity for reform pushes the nation closer to a point of no return. The United States, once the undisputed epicenter of global travel and soft power risks, becoming a fading memory in the rearview mirror of international aviation. Behind the scenes, whispers of political panic leak from Washington. Advisors warn that losing the tourism war means losing more than revenue. It erodes diplomatic influence, weakens alliances, and emboldens rivals. China's $10 billion high-speed rail project in Indonesia, unveiled in July 2025, wasn't just about trains. It was a flex of soft power that tells the world we are building bridges while America builds walls. European leaders, frustrated by U.S. tariffs and hostile visa policies, are strengthening trade ties with Middle Eastern hubs like Doha and Abu Dhabi, redirecting millions of travelers and billions in investments away from U.S. shores. Economists say the solutions are clear, yet politically explosive. Removing protectionist tariffs could slash costs on everything from jet fuel to hotel linens, bringing airfares down and revitalizing transatlantic travel. Injecting billions into airport modernization could rival the efficiency of Dubai and Singapore, turning hours-long immigration queues into a frictionless 15-minute process. A sweeping rural airlift rescue package could reconnect forgotten American towns to the global economy, saving thousands of jobs. But these measures demand political courage to defy entrenched lobbyists, withstand partisan attacks, and face angry voters in a divided nation. Critics warn of the alternative, a slow economic bleed that doesn't just hurt tourism, but corrodes the nation's soul. If foreign travelers stop coming, they stop seeing America's values firsthand. Cultural exchange dwindles. Universities lose global talent. Businesses lose foreign investors. The idea of the United States as a beacon of freedom and opportunity dims. Soft power, the invisible force that won wars and built alliances without firing a shot, begins to evaporate. And while Washington hesitates, the rest of the world accelerates. Asia's travel market is set to overtake North America for the first time. Dubai is expanding for 90 million more passengers annually. Seoul is building futuristic terminals to dominate regional skies. Meanwhile, U.S. infrastructure crumbles under 50-year-old designs, and travelers vent their frustrations online for the world to see. So America stands at a dangerous crossroads. Does it double down on isolationism, fortifying barriers and tariffs, while watching travelers and allies drift away? Or does it make the hard sacrifices, lower tariffs, overhaul immigration systems, invest in global connectivity to reclaim its place as the world's premier destination and power player? This is not just about tourism or trade. It's about identity, leadership, and survival in a rapidly shifting world. The choice will define not only the next election, but the destiny of a nation that once lit the way for others to follow. What do you think? Should the U.S. tear down its political walls and open its skies to the world again? Or is isolation the price of protecting its future? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's see how deep this debate goes. The world is watching, and the clock is running out.